Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here. Today we're talking about console prices because a very reputable leaker named Moore's Law is dead. We've talked a lot about this leaker on the channel over the course of the last 5 years. He's done a bunch of very good hardware leaks about the PlayStation 5 Pro before it got released and all sorts of stuff like the next-gen Xbox. But he randomly published a statement talking about the fact that all console prices, but starting with the Xbox, the prices are about to go up. Xbox is going to maybe have its third price increase within the same year. And Sony, they're safe for now, but will probably follow suit. But this isn't just corporate greed. It's not just Sony and Microsoft trying to jack up profitability. It's about actual shortages of the raw components. Apparently what's happening is that AI companies right now are building these mega servers. You've probably heard about this, but they're building these huge data centers, and basically what they're doing is they're buying up all the raw stuff in the world, all the chips, all the RAM, all the everything to build these mega servers. And in order to do that, that means that just in general, the stuff that physically goes into these Xboxes, that goes into these PlayStations, that goes into even stuff like cars and phones, those RAM chips are all being used up worldwide. So basically, Xbox is thinking we either have to increase the price or stop making Xbox consoles. But let's break this down. Hi, hope you're having a great day. And if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, it has just been a bad week for Xbox news. I've also wanted to talk about this. I am a huge fan of Battlefield 6. I think Battlefield 6 was fantastic. I also reviewed the very new Call of Duty, and it is so atrociously bad. But apparently, the sales are 63% lower than Battlefield. Absolutely crazy. Now, that's just in Europe. Maybe it's better here in the United States, but it seems like just in general, yikes, it is not a good time for Xbox to be paying billions and billions of dollars for a brand that is essentially dead on arrival. But this is funny to me because this will be the third price increase in the same calendar year. Like in May, they increased the price and then they increase the price again. Like now, if you want an Xbox Series X 2 terabyte edition, it is $800. But why? Why is this happening? Credible insider Moore's Law is dead warns the price of Xbox may go up again due to severe RAM shortages. Says Microsoft did not plan at all. Supply may entirely dry up. Multiple sources have warned Xbox sales reps this will impact Series consoles soon. Now, essentially, Moore's Law is dead. He's been very public by the fact that he's not getting leaks. A lot of his information that's incredibly accurate, it's not that it's coming from Sony. You know, some secret Sony employee isn't emailing him schematics and stuff. Instead, a lot of his sources are on the manufacturer side. Basically, the people that literally build the consoles, that supply the chips, the people that really do the hard wiring, you know, so it can get a good Sony logo on it or whatever. That's who he's been talking to. And essentially, they're basically saying, look, man, there is not just enough chips and RAM in the world to try and keep up with demand. Now, I wanted to just look at the replies here. This is across the board. PC RAM is also expensive right now. I've been hearing that. Everybody's basically, this will affect every electronic soon. Look at this. Price history. Look at this. It has tripled in price in 2 years, going from, let's say, September. Look at this. Wow. Tripled in price. Absolutely ridiculous. Serious question. How exactly do other PC and console manufacturers plan ahead for RAM shortages? Now, this is the thing. Let me read his quote, and then I'm going to talk about why something apparently that Sony did do is they stockpiled. So while this price increase is probably going to affect a lot of different industries, somehow PlayStation 5 will be the last to sort of succumb to this price increase, right? But Microsoft has made no provisions. If you still want an Xbox for some reason at the current price, the prices could go up soon or the supply could run out completely, as several of my sources have been warned by Microsoft sales representatives that this will affect the Xbox Series consoles very soon, sooner rather than later. Now, you're probably asking, why is it that Microsoft is being affected so much more heavily than other people? Now, it's two things at once. One, it seems like they realize the Xbox is not selling. They release their quarterly sales metrics. Nobody in the world is buying an Xbox. The Xbox is just so completely dead on arrival, even before the multiple price increases and jacking up the cost of Game Pass. But it's also the fact that Microsoft is very all in on AI. And it sounds like internally, Microsoft is sort of making a decision of, okay, we've got this amount of RAM chips. Do we put this towards our consoles, which don't sell, or do we put it towards our servers, which at the very least are raising up our stock price, right? And it seems like they're basically like, maybe it's just worth making less consoles, physically giving up on the consoles themselves, which is such an odd idea. Now, I found this interesting thing where essentially what Sony did that has protected them so far is that they stockpiled them. That means computing is necessary. But Microsoft was not smart. It allegedly started to warn partners of shortages. Redmond has announced no discounts for Black Friday. I did see a Crap Gamer posted about that. It's weird that Microsoft did not run any sort of still at all for the Xbox. No $50 off bundle, no packed-in games. They just don't care. They stopped making them a while ago. But here's the thing. To cut a long story short, OpenAI has signed a lucrative long-term deal with the likes of Samsung and SK Hynix, which could purchase up the estimate of 40% of the world's total supply of DRAM. That means all other computer manufacturers, from consoles to cars to smartphones, are fighting over the remaining 60%, and panic buying has jacked up the prices significantly. When a lot of times the people, they buy these like chips and stuff, you do put in an offer. You say, hey, I need, 10 million of these chips. I need 5 million of these chips over the next couple of years. They take the highest bidder a lot of times. Your order that you put in is usually as big as you possibly think you can possibly sell. And it sounds like because everybody right now is putting in very high bids, it started a bidding war for the remaining chips. Sony saw this situation coming and allegedly stocked up on the components it needed while the prices were still low. That means it'll be safe from any potential price hikes for this foreseeable future, but even it has the flexibility to reduce the PS5 price on Black Friday. Now, this sounds like them being smart. It sounds like what the reason they did this is there was some talk a while ago that when the United States was first really talking about tariffs, right now there's tariffs on pretty much everything across the world, from bananas to cars and phones and everything, right? Everything is tariffed ridiculous amounts. Some places prices have doubled. There's like, I think 175% tariff on China and stuff, right? So when that started to happen, Sony admitted that they stockpiled the heck out of a lot of raw resources just to basically avoid those tariffs as much as possible. To basically go, okay, part of what makes tariffs so expensive is when you send something into the United States, it gets partially assembled. Like you send raw steel into the United States, they compress it. We've got good steel factories here. And then you ship it back to Australia, and they turn it into a car, and then you ship it back. You have had to pay tariffs twice, the double import border crossing. So essentially what happened is as soon as they really started rolling out those big tariff talks, apparently Sony stocked up on everything from raw supplies to warehouse materials to everything. So they go, okay, this is expensive up front, but now we can make it and dodge at least one jump of that tariff cost. So accidentally, they're way out ahead of the game, because now while everybody else is struggling with basic raw components, they've at least got a reserve of them. Now, I'll be honest, I just don't like the idea of this, that it's just so... I'm against AI for a bunch of different reasons. I just think in general, like the idea of spending trillions and trillions of dollars to make like AI generated movies or funny pictures and stuff, it's just not my cup of tea. I really don't understand it. I've heard some people much smarter than me say that one of the things that AI will be able to do is like medical research faster than we can do medical research, and maybe even cure stuff because it can cross-reference literally every written piece of document ever made about like medical science. I get that, but I'm in the camp where it seems like not only is it raising the cost of power, not only is it stressing power grids, not only are they actually building these giant data centers, is actually basically destroying some small towns. I've also just been reading books about AI. Like, this is a really good one. If anyone builds it, everyone dies. Why superhuman AI could kill us all. Good book. Dramatic title. Good book. It's funny to think that Microsoft is so all in on this. Microsoft has talked about the fact that they want AI to make all their games. In fact, if you played Call of Duty is terrible. Call of Duty is filled with very lazy AI art, which I do think hurts the sales as well. I do think there is a huge chunk of the internet that sees lazy AI art in a $70 game and goes, yeah, okay, it's not worth $70. It's just that easy to them, right? If you're not going to pay employees, I'm not going to pay you. But I think at the end of the day, I'm nervous about the trickle down of this. What happens if all the prices go up and then they stay up? Even if the shortage is temporary, even if the AI bubble pops, What if every console goes up to $1,000 and then even when the bubble's done, they just leave the prices there, right? I'm afraid of what the long-term, just total cost of this is going to be, not just to the gamers, but to the entire gaming industry. I don't know. These have been some off-the-cuff thoughts. I was out till 2 a.m. singing a bunch of All the Small Things by Blink-182. So I lost my voice a little bit, I feel like. But hi, good morning. I'm tired and should probably still be in bed, but here I am talking about prices. Love you very much. Hope you're having a good weekend. And please, if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.